Alrighty, guys. So we just got out of class. Carson Wentz is a Colt now. Kind of saw it coming, I'm not going to lie. I think I called it way back toward the end of the regular season. I was like, Carson Wentz is going to be a Colt just because that connection he had with Frank Reich over there had his MVP year. But yeah, he's a Colt now. Where do you want to start?
So I guess we got to start with who won? Was there any losers in this trade?
I think that it was a pretty decent trade, like, for both sides. Like, I think both sides won in a sense, but I think the Eagles got away with a little bit of robbery. But just for the fact that I saw something, I don't remember who said it, the initial offer, the Colts offered the same third-round pick. They offered it a fifth. And the Eagles somehow talked their way into a conditional second, which is most likely going to be a first if the Colts make the playoffs or if Carson Wentz plays 70% of the snaps this season. So I think the Eagles kind of robbed them, to be honest.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one just because of the fact that the Matt Stafford trade, I mean, people can say whatever they want that Matt Stafford's better, but he has done nothing to prove that. Carson Wentz has done pretty much the same amount as Matt Stafford has in way less time.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz has made it to the playoffs twice. He's 0-1 in the playoffs. First time he got hurt, he still made it to the playoffs. Matt Stafford's 0-4 in playoffs. And he's way older. Let me finish. He's way older. And, I mean, Matt Stafford was, 2 first-round picks, Jared Goff, and a third-round pick?
Yeah.
And the Colts just got Carson Wentz, a young guy with a lot of potential who has done half the amount that Matt Stafford has in way less time. They got him for a first and a third.
Well, my whole thing, though, is that Matt Stafford's contract wasn't nearly as big as Carson Wentz's contract. I mean, you got to look, Carson Wentz is getting top-tier quarterback money, and he's nowhere near a top-tier quarterback. I would say he's maybe top 15 in the league. I mean, it's not... And you don't, like, we kind of touched on it before when we first talked about the whole Carson Wentz versus Jalen Hurts thing. You don't know what you're going to get. Like, it's just a matter, I think it comes down to a matter of if you're getting MVP Wentz from the year that they won the Super Bowl, or are you going to get Carson Wentz from last year who sucks? Like, who's sorry? Like, I think it's just a matter of that. But my thing, though, is the Eagles, it was a lose-lose situation for the Eagles, I think.
Probably.
Because of the fact you either keep Wentz in his contract and you're paying him all that money to most likely be the backup, or you're trading him, which they did. They took the largest dead cap hit in history. Was it $33.8 million dead cap just for trading him? So, I mean, either way, it was a lose-lose. But I think getting rid of them and just taking the dead cap hit now, I think that was the better decision than keeping him and just paying him big money to be the backup.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't think Carson Wentz is getting paid that much money for what he's done. His track record is pretty good. Yeah, he's had a couple of bad seasons. Yeah, he's getting paid the same amount as Jared Goff. I mean, you can take that how far you want it, whatever. But his MVP season, he got paid a fair amount, and he beat other quarterbacks to the deal. I mean, yeah, he got $32 million a year, which isn't that bad considering Dak Prescott's about to get upwards of 35. And Dak Prescott's done the same amount as Carson Wentz, in my opinion.
Well, you're comparing him to Jared Goff a lot. Jared Goff...
Well, I can compare him to Matt Stafford, and it's still the same thing.
Well, I see what you're saying, but it's just like Carson Wentz, I don't think he proved enough to get that big contract in the first place.
He didn't prove enough. He didn't bring him to the playoffs twice. He didn't have a great season that ended on a torn ACL. I mean, did that not have? And Matt Stafford is worth 2 first-round picks, a guy who has yet to win a playoff game in 15 years.
Because Carson Wentz, you don't know what you're going to get. Carson Wentz is sorry.
Matt Stafford, I know what I'm going to get, a loser in the playoffs.
A loser who has been on his teams. We can talk about this all day. Matt Stafford, never. Who was on his teams?
Matt Stafford was a number 1 pick, and he's been on that team for 15 years.
Carson Wentz was a number 2
Calvin
pick.
Johnson.
Got traded after
You argue that
years.
Calvin Johnson is a top 5 receiver all time. He had that. He let Tony Romo beat him in the playoffs. I don't know how else to make this any clearer. Matt Stafford can play under pressure. Matt Stafford is the guy that gets down by 30, comes in the fourth quarter, puts up 200 yards, and people think he's good. That's what Matt Stafford is. That's all he is.
Should we add him to the list?
Add him to the list. He can be number one on my list. I don't like Matt Stafford at all.
I don't know. Anyways, going back to the main purpose of this video, I think the Eagles won the trade. The Colts, I think if Carson Wentz comes out and plays how he did under Frank Reich, what was that, 3 years ago now? I think that they definitely won the trade 100%. But if you get the Carson Wentz who we saw last year, and even some can say the year before that, I think it's a massive L for the Colts.
I think the Colts won the trade. I mean, they're taking a shot on a possible franchise quarterback with a first and third round pick. I mean, they don't have a quarterback, so it would have been who knows?
Eason show.
It would have been Jacob Eason. Now they have Carson Wentz, a guy who has a ton of potential, and I mean, it's Frank Reich's guy, so get him his boy and let's see what you got.
Yeah, I just think that this is the start of the Eagles' rebuild, I guess, because my friend asked me, he was like, why didn't the Eagles try and trade for a player, like a decent player instead of picks? They can't. They don't have the money to. They have massive contracts. They still have Alshon Jeffrey on the books, Deshaun Jackson, Lane Johnson. He's top 5 when he's healthy, but he sucks. He gets hurt every play. Who else? Brandon Graham. He's coming off a career year, but he's making money like he's a top edge rusher.
Fletcher Cox is probably getting
paid. Cox, I think he's getting 13 or 18 mil a year for him to.
Darius Slay is probably getting paid.
Darius Slay's getting big money. And then even just going back to Fletcher Cox, Fletcher Cox doesn't play. I don't know the last time he played a full season. 2-3 years maybe. Like, he's good when he plays, he's good, but you don't want to be having guys on the books getting paid big ass amounts of money to be playing maybe 3/4 of a season.
Yeah.
You want them to be in every snap, every game, like not having to worry about resting them or them getting hurt. And that's the Eagles' problem. They have a lot of terrible contracts, and this was just the start of them clearing it up. So I think that's why I think that this was good. But I don't even know what the hell Howie Roseman's going to do. That dude is terrible at his job. He's so bad at his job. Very bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Eagles won the trade right now. I think the Eagles, right now, the Eagles won the trade. But if Carson Wentz ends up panning out for the Colts, I think they won it 100%.
I think the Colts won the trade because I think Matt Stafford got a way higher price than Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz is better in my opinion. So
I don't think Carson Wentz is better than Matt Stafford.
I 100% do.
Then that's where we differentiate. I think Matt Stafford is a lot better. Ryan thinks Carson Wentz is a lot better. Leave your guys' thoughts in the comments on who you guys think is better. It's the only way to settle it.
Yep.
You gonna listen to him or you gonna listen to me? That's what it comes down to. But no, you got anything else? Any last minute remarks?
No, I'm all good.
All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap up this just wanted to throw it out there. He got traded, wanted to give you guys something to go off of, like, our thoughts, if you guys care. I don't know. If you missed it, go check out that we just posted yesterday, actually, so go check that out. Go check out the podcast, all that stuff. Going to keep uploading on Wednesdays, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Peace.